Money with Martha, and my name is Martha. We still have our guest with us. She is a financial life coach. Her name is Miss Julie Phelan in the studio. Well, actually, she's on Zoom, but that's okay. All right, Julie. So, what role does a woman's state of mind play in determining her future? How, what role does, the mental state of your mind have to do with how far you can go financially?
It, as you said, kind of at the beginning, it is the single most important thing. And if we don't like where we are, we first kind of have to transform our thoughts about where we're going and what our situation is. And in so many ways, get out of the fear driven space that women find themselves in: fear of not having enough, fear of not being enough, fear of not being able to take care of themselves or their children, fear of independence, because that's a big one. And I had a counselor a long time ago. That was probably the biggest gift that she ever gave me in the course of our doing stuff, because I was feeling like I had to stay in a job even though I hated it, hated the boss. I had health issues probably because of that, with upset stomach and all the time. And she gave me the freedom to be free of that fear that I had to have a job, that not that I had to have a job, but I had to stay in that job, that I would be okay if I quit that job, even without another one, that I had the mental resources, I had the capacity, and I had some saving. So I was able to release that fear and to move on. So that was my mental state, and it was the biggest single key and moment in transforming my own financial life. I also made the decision, and this is what I also tell clients, and women particularly: you have to decide, really consciously decide that you're going to do something differently, and you commit to it. You're not just saying, I want to have more money someday. It's like, today I am going to start changing how I look at money and changing how I view my future and what I do today, and I'm going to build better habits. And once you change that, that is the very first step and the very first key in changing the most important thing, which is your mindset. You
That's
can't do it
also.
without changing that.
I like the fact that you stated the point. It's important to make a decision, to commit that I want to make change. That where the decision is very important, because sometimes, we know we want to do something, but we haven't really been able to commit to making that decision, because once we make that decision, we find out everything else just kind of falls in place. So
Right.
that
And I would add, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, no.
you can't just say I want to change, because a lot of people, everybody wants to change. But if you say I intend to change, or I am changing starting today, I am choosing a new way of doing things. That's the most important thing. Not just because you can say I want to change. That's like saying I want $1 million. Well, who doesn't want $1 million? But it does nothing towards getting you there. To getting that $1 million, you say I intend to. I choose today to change how I've been doing things in order to get to what it is that I want. And you and I have talked about this, how key it is and how important it is to write that down, because that reinforces your intention, your choice. And then you can also look at that.
It's more than a desire. It's involving your willpower. That's what you're trying to say, taking it
Exactly,
to the next
exactly.
level. That's
Hmm.
awesome, awesome, awesome. That's really nice. I just want to find out very quickly from you, if there is a woman here or well, listening right now, and she's saying to herself, I feel like I've wasted the best part of my years. I'm wondering, where do I even start right now? She's looking at her age, she's looking at her situation, she's looking at everything life has thrown to her, and she's saying, listening to you, okay, but where do I start? I mean, how do I even start? What would you say to someone like that?
I would first say I know where you've been, because I am a woman of a certain age. I would say I've been in the workforce for over 40 years, doing a lot of different things, and have some life experiences that I can share. Honestly, if somebody who is older wants to know what they can do with what they've got, a 25-year-old or a 35-year-old is not the person to ask. And a lot of the people who are financial advisors, I love them and they're great, but they have cookie cutter methods of doing things, and they don't have the life experience to say, I understand where you're coming from. I can share that. I have done that or shared some of those things. And, a financial life coach or any kind of a life coach can actually help to meet you where you are if they have some experience with life and with financial ups and downs. Because you know, and I know, there's nobody that gets to the age of 50 without financial ups and downs.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and even more so older. And as women get older, and maybe they have a spouse that dies, or they're faced with divorce, which is something they never thought about, or kids are demanding. And a lot of kids and a lot of millennials have a lot of problems. And you know, a lot of kids are coming back home to live with their 60-year-old parents. You know, that's a big challenge. So talk to somebody. If you want to talk to a life coach like me, then I'm more than open to that. But also start with a really good, clear examination of where you are. What money do you have, and what are your expenses? You know, it kind of gets back to basic budgeting. Where can you cut if you need to? Where can you put money to expand and grow your income, grow your money if you can? You have to basically take that microscope, that laboratory analysis, and look at exactly